Hello, my fellow fasting foodie friend. Welcome to the live. I have it set up on my computer this week. Miraculously, there were no issues. I have my notes. I also am in the middle of a fast. So if you're fasting, you're not alone. I'm at 24 hours and 7 minutes. Today is an up day. And I probably would have broke my fast at 24 hours, but I knew I'd be doing this and I'm not going to try to chew and talk. So right after this, I'm breaking my fast. Hope you guys are doing great. I got to talk to a few of you in the comments already, so that's fun. I will be able to better see the comments and the chat going on now that I'm on my computer. But if I miss you, I'm really sorry. I'm trying my best. I promise you, I'm not ever intentionally ignoring anyone. And before we really get into chatting, I just wanted to remind everyone I have a hard stop at 2, so I do this from 1:30 to 2. 2 is the latest I'll go because I have school pickup to go get in line for. And then I don't give medical advice because I am not qualified to give medical advice. And if I haven't experienced it myself, I probably won't have advice to give. I'm just someone that's very enthusiastic about fasting. And that is where my encouragement comes from. I just want to be your friend on the fasting journey, but I can't give medical advice, obviously. I see that we have North Carolina, Washington State, Oklahoma, India. We're all over. I'm in Michigan. I get asked that question a lot. I am in Kalamazoo, Michigan. So it is 87 right now, which is amazing. My hair doesn't love it. I have crazy hair. Funny story, Tennessee. This morning, my son said to me, "Do you wish you had smooth hair?" And he named one of our friends, like Miss Beth. So apparently he noticed my hair was crazy too, but my hair does not love the heat, but I'll still take it. Illinois, Ohio, Minnesota. Someone used to live in Kalamazoo. That's crazy. I live on the northeast side, and I love it. We've been living here for 14 years. So Georgia, Indiana, Texas, the whole U.S. is represented. Southern California, Oregon. Wow, there really are a lot of states. Maybe one of these days I will go back and see all the states represented. But I love hearing where everyone's from. New Mexico. I think I missed that one. Tobago. Is that a country? I knew all my countries when I was in 10th grade, but that was a long time ago. West Virginia, Florida, another Indiana. Hey, Leanne. Florida. Woohoo. We're all over the place. So I did want to also remind everyone my son is around. So if he makes a surprise appearance, I hope not. London, Utah, New Hampshire, I think. If he makes a surprise appearance, just be warned. And then let me see. I feel like there was one more. Oh, one thing that I changed when I set this up is you cannot comment if you're not a subscriber. And that's only because I've had people join and leave very vulgar, immediate comments. So you have to be subscribed for at least 5 minutes. If you don't like to subscribe for people, I understand, if you don't want my stuff popping up on your homepage all the time, I totally get it. But if you want to comment, you do have to subscribe and wait 5 minutes before you can comment. That just kind of keeps people from bullying and leaving rude. I've had very weird comments like take your clothes off, that kind of stuff. This was a long time ago, but I'm not getting into that. So I do have that disabled for a safety. Let's see. I'm up Canada. I see Philadelphia. I once went to Philly for a 2-week training and I loved every minute of it. You guys have such good food there. Someone took me around and took me to all the eateries. I went to a Phillies game. That was a lot of fun. Loved Philadelphia. Let's see here. Here's our first question. So we'll get into a question. How do you transition from everyday fast, 18 to 20 hours, and then to alternate day fasting? You want to switch it up and not get out of your groove. So one way that I think makes it easier is the 500 calorie down days, because I can still fast 18 hours, have the 500 calorie meal, and then fast 18 to 24 hours again, but you still have the meal. So you're not breaking that kind of a groove that you have going on, but you're just really having smaller calorie amounts. I think that's one way that it would be that you can do it. And I did a lot of 500 calorie down day meals once a week I did it. And now I do like to do 500 calorie down days along with a full fast. And I think that's because the longer I do this, the easier it is for me to kind of go back and forth. My body doesn't feel like it's unnatural when I do longer fasts anymore. So I guess my best, is the kitty on the stairs? Yep, that's Dee Dee. She's the naughtiest cat in the world. So she might go crazy back there. But I feel like if you adopt the alternate day fasting as like a 500 calorie for a while, and you get used to your down day still eating the one meal, and you're doing the 18-hour fast, the one meal that's smaller in calories, and then you can fast 18 to 20 hours again, you're still getting the rhythm, but you're still getting a meal. And I think that's one way that you could implement it. And once you get really used to that, then you could play with doing a full entire day fast. And she's being naughty. She heard me. And I think that's one way that you could do it. That's how I did. I got really used to the 500 calorie down days. And then I now can kind of go between a 500 calorie down day or a full fast. And I do think that it really keeps your body guessing without it being traumatic, because my body is so used to fasting different lengths, but it's never expecting like to eat at 2 p.m. every day. Or it's also not going to freak out if I eat more because I do different things. It's like, okay, we're just going to go with Jackie's flow. Oh, thank you. I see CHB Mommy. You love my videos and I'm inspiring. Thank you so much, fellow Michigander. Hi, Sue. How do you like your weighted vest? My hips and knees feel better. Did 5 miles on your vest this morning. I loved the vest. Honestly, it felt really easy at first, which sounds kind of silly. It's actually right there. It's a 10-pound vest, and I only know that because the package weighed 10 pounds, but I was like, oh, this isn't that bad, and it fit perfectly. I was really excited. But then about like 10 minutes into my walk, I was sweating way more than I usually do. It was warmer, but I also really, really could feel it. And yes, my legs felt better because the ankle weights I do think are kind of bothersome. I have really thick ankles. And before you think like I'm just being hard on myself, it's a family characteristic. Like, I have thick ankles. No one wants to see my feet. I know, sorry. But I have to get them really tight for the Velcro to stay. And I think that probably hurt my ankles walking with ankle weights a little bit, like just making it uncomfortable. And also, I think I heard so many comments on electrolytes and magnesium and potassium really affecting my legs or my body in general, and it manifested in my legs or showed itself. And I think that you guys are onto something. So my next long fast, I'm definitely going to pay more attention. I just need to find the answer, but I'm looking. But I love the vest. I did not do 5 miles. I walked 45 minutes. I don't know exactly how long. It's probably around 3 miles. But yes, I loved it. Is your physician totally on board? Yes. I have a primary care physician. I see her about once a year, or if I'm sick. I used to see her more when I was breastfeeding because I got mastitis all the time. So she was used to seeing me gain and lose weight while I was breastfeeding. She was used to seeing me if I had like sinus infections or different things. But I saw her before COVID, and then I saw her after I lost all my weight, and she was like, oh, hey, your weight is way lower. And we did blood tests, and all of my blood tests came back really clean, looking really good. And she could see that I felt really good. She also, like her physical exam of me, everything turned out good. So she is very on board with fasting, and she is familiar with it from other patients. So she was definitely on board, which made me feel really good. I'm trying to quit. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. Do I ever get hungry or tired? I really don't get tired by comparison. So as a mom, I felt like I was tired all the time, but I feel much more rested now. I'm of course tired some days, just if we have long days, but I don't get tired because of fasting. I actually feel much more rested. I do get hungry. Like right now, I would say I'm hungry and I'm looking forward to eating after this. So I'm excited about eating, but I don't feel the same type of hunger that I used to when I would try dieting, where I'm obsessing about the food. It's kind of like, oh, I'm hungry. I look forward to my eating window, and then I can move on. I can kind of acknowledge it, drink more coffee, drink more water. There are some days like before my period where I feel much hungrier than normal, and I just kind of adjust my windows for that. But for the most part, I feel it's a pretty smooth sailing for me. How can I know if I'm having enough calories? Okay, so this one, you're at a normal BMI, which I am too, trying to eat intuitively after fasting. I'm exactly the same way. Sometimes I do wonder if I overeat. I'm not worried I literally never once worry that I don't eat enough because I feel like I eat a lot. And on the intuitive part, if I feel really hungry one day, for instance, it always happens like 2, maybe 3 days before my period. I just am much hungrier. In about 18 hours, I break my eating window and I pretty much will eat until I'm satisfied for the day. And sometimes that means like a 6-hour eating window when I don't normally do that. If I feel hungry and it's not like a boredom hunger or an emotional hunger, the longer I fasted, the more I can identify like, okay, I'm trying to like justify eating this because I emotionally know it would make me feel better. But if I have that true, like, okay, I'm really feeling hungry today, I just eat more. And I feel like the more that I do that, the less I have to worry about not eating enough. I eat a lot and I really don't worry. I don't know. I don't have a way to tell you that I'm doing it. I just don't worry I'm not eating enough because I eat a lot. And I feel like because I'm not restricting, the fact that I eat a lot and the fact that I am flexible, if I feel like I need more, my body will tell me if I'm not eating enough. I don't know. I probably don't have a good answer for that. So happy I found your accent last week. I've been fasting every day since. It is so great to not deprive myself and still lose weight. Yes. Helen, 100%. I agree. That is what I love more. I love that I'm at a healthy weight and that I don't obsess about my weight anymore, but I love that I'm not obsessed with food all day long, worrying, should I, shouldn't I, how much do I need to stop? The freedom of the thought is amazing. Shelly's feeling hungry and having chicken taquitos tonight. Looking forward to dinner. Me too. Okay. When doing your blood work, this one's about to leave. I'll go back to taquitos. When doing your blood work, did you fast like normal? Yes, I fasted just like my normal. I think the requirement was, they're like, well, you can go get this whenever you can fast, whatever the hours. And I was like, boom, already done. So I just went right after my appointment. I was already fasting. But going back to taquitos and looking forward to dinner, people ask me why I choose dinner as my time. And one of the reasons, it's a meal that my family's almost always together for. That's important to me. But the other thing is I like having the food to look forward to. Actually, the video that goes out on Saturday touches on this. But if I ate breakfast every day, I think I would have like an emotional sadness that my eating was done for the day. And if you don't understand that, I can't really explain it because I know it sounds probably silly, but I like to have my meal to look forward to. So it's something, it's a fun part of my day eating. And if it was done early in the day, I'd just be bummed. Okay, how do you feel you had been more carnivore? So Chris is asking if I had been more like of a meat eater, if I'd lost weight quicker. So I'm going to have a whole video on this, but I did keto for a month as a trial. I got down to 141. I'm back to 150. Today on my down day, I don't weigh myself very often, but I'm at 150 since 6 months of basically eating carbs again. I do think that probably if meat was more of a base of my diet instead of carbs, if I was more on a keto track, I don't know if you're meaning that, that probably I would be at a lower weight. And again, my video is going to touch on this, but I like carbs and I do well with carbs. I'm definitely not at the lowest weight possible while eating carbs, but I'd rather enjoy carbs and weigh more than not do that. But I do think, and this kind of is a good lead in to, I've had a lot of people mention protein to me, and I've honestly never really considered my macros, except for not the macros, but the only thing I've ever tracked is calories or Weight Watcher points. And then when I did the keto, I did 20 net carbs. And part of the keto tracker wanted me to track protein, but I've never really thought of it. But I've heard so many comments. Okay, I see Felix. I see your question. It's about to pop up, but I'll get to that in a minute. So I'm starting yesterday, which was a down day, but every day I'm going to focus on making sure I'm eating protein. So we don't eat a ton of meat. You guys, if you follow my Grocery Addict channel, you know I have a vegetarian daughter, and we do have meat as our meals, but none of us are like giant meat eaters. And people have pointed out, like, you need more protein in your diet. And I've heard it enough that I am starting to listen. So as much as I like to share with you guys, I'm definitely in a learning journey, and I don't want anyone to ever think that I think I know it all, because I obviously don't. But I'm trying for the next 3 weeks, which is the end of my 75 hard fitness, wellness, mental challenge. I'm going to try to eat more protein, and I actually just left Aldi, but I got pistachios, pepitas, which are pumpkin seeds. They're roasted. Both of these are very high protein items that I love. And then cottage cheese and Greek yogurt and cheese. So I'm going to try opening my eating window every day. Or if I have a down day, it's going to be predominantly protein based. But most of it's still not going to be meat, because we just don't eat that much meat. And if I try to get it all from me, I know I'd rather have nuts, seeds, and cheese. But I'm going to try to eat more protein. So not totally carnivore, but more protein based, and see how that affects the rest of my eating window. So I'm doing that for 3 weeks as a trial, and I have a feeling it'll kind of stick with me more. I'm picking all foods that I really like, but I'm trying to open my eating window with like 50 grams of protein instead of not thinking about it. And even though I don't restrict, I definitely want to improve what I'm eating. So I feel like eating foods that I like and then focusing on something that could do well for me could work well. But Felix asked if, he said you don't count calories, which is very true, but you must be cognizant or portion control. And there's a yes and a no to that. So when it comes to my meals, I pretty much eat till I'm satisfied. So like when I make butter chicken, which is one of my favorite dinners, when I was dieting or calorie restriction or Weight Watchers, if I made a meal that I really loved, it would honestly like be hard for me to only eat a smaller portion of it. And I really like that I can make meals that I love and enjoy it. So I will eat till I'm full. But when it comes to things like Mother's Day, I made myself a sundae. I could have made the sundae much bigger. I could have had a sundae the next day. I could have put a lot more toppings on it. And while I enjoyed my sundae, I was definitely cognizant of not putting 18 scoops of homemade hot fudge on it, or every single topping on there. So while I don't count calories, I still am mindful, but not in a I can't eat that or that's bad for me type way, but just more like, okay, well, you ate a bunch of tater tots. Do you really need to add mashed potatoes type way? Like, no, I don't need more potatoes. I don't know why I thought of that, but that's just the example that came to my head. So I'm cognizant of what I'm eating, but not in a I can't eat that way. It's just more like, oh, you've had a lot of sugar the last few days. Maybe you shouldn't have any more today. You're breaking out more than normal. And I'd be like, yeah, I am breaking out more than normal. So yeah, let's lay off the sugar. That's it's more about how I'm feeling, how I felt after an eating window, and just making changes because of that, not really depriving myself. I don't know if that makes sense. I love carbs too, Shelly. Okay, so I feel the same way about opening my eating window and having it to look forward to. We are on the same track with that. Good for you, David. Good luck on your 18-hour fast. And if trying, don't feel like it's either you get 18 hours or you lost. Not the case. You can work your way up to it, or you can start and go. Oh, open your window with salted cashews. I absolutely love cashews. We actually have a lot of those. That's a good idea too. I need to look at the protein on there. I'm trying to get the most bang for my buck when it comes to protein. And pepitas have 9 of them, 9 grams of protein in a quarter cup. And I love these. I'm going to put them right on my cottage cheese. I do not have a Winco, but I love cheese sales. I don't know if I've heard of Winco actually. Tried keto, you were miserable. Yeah, I actually can't say that I hated keto, but I missed a lot of foods. I felt really good on it. I definitely lost weight. And then I actually, even though I've gained weight back, I can still fit in the smaller pants that I got into. So I feel like some of what's come back is just water weight from eating carbs again, kind of retaining some of the fluids. I still weigh less than I did when I started keto, but I can wear the pants that I got into with keto. I just could never do it long term. I like to have low carb meals every once in a while, but I couldn't do it low carb or forever. And that's why I love fasting, because I can keep up with an eating window and I love it. I've never got sick of it. Do I get a tingling in my fingers and toes? No, but I get a tingling here and on my eyebrows, and almost every single time I get in a fast. And others have mentioned that might be like potassium or magnesium or just electrolyte deficiency. I always thought it was a good sign of my fat burning. I've heard other people say that on podcasts, but it might not be. So I'm looking into making sure all my minerals are there, but I get like, I can feel it right now. Here and here is where I get tingling, but never on my toes and my fingers. What do I drink while fasting? I have hot black coffee, or I'll drink it iced, and then water. Right now, because I'm doing 75 hard, I drink a gallon a day. I love drinking water, and I drink it all the time, but I never drink a gallon if I'm not doing 75 hard. That's just way too much for me. Thank you for the encouragement, Mrs. Moore. That's very kind of you. Okay, so Kelly asked, this is a very hard subject because part of me feels like a failure saying it, but the other part of me knows it's reality and that a lot of people relate. Am I trying to cut out processed foods? No. And I don't mean it that I think processed foods are amazing. I am just not at a spot where I'm ready. I don't want to get into diet mentality. And I know that probably sounds crazy, but so it's a no and a yes. So if I want to eat chips, obviously a highly processed food, and I have the opportunity to eat chips and it's like on my mind, I will eat them to satisfy that. Otherwise, I will obsess about them. And I know that from all of my years of dieting. However, there are things like Little Debbie's, sour cream and onion chips I used to love so much. I can't stand the taste of the powder anymore. There are things that I just don't like anymore that are naturally processed. And I have no problem not eating, or I naturally don't like them anymore that are highly processed. And I have no problem eating it if I decide I don't like it anymore. And so I'm trusting my body to keep, like, I find myself lately craving Brussels sprouts, really green vegetables. I really look forward to eating. I've been eating a lot of like asparagus. So I'm trusting my body to like pull me towards what I want, and then following that what I want is going to continue to get better and better instead of telling myself I can't have it. Because if I tell myself I'm not going to eat crackers, I'm going to obsess about crackers or chips or whatever else it might be. So I'm not trying to limit them. I'm just continuing to follow what my body craves. And naturally, I'm disliking more and more processed foods. But I'm almost 2 years in, and I still love some processed foods. And you want to lose? Okay, so Felix is asking again, if I don't count calories and you want to lose fat or weight, how do you know you're hitting a caloric deficit or fat loss to happen? I don't know that I'm in a caloric deficit. Fast, Feast, Repeat. I love the book, but she actually shares some studies where people can overeat and still fast and lose weight. I have read so much science, but I'm not someone that retains the science of it to regurgitate to you. I'm someone that retains the overall idea and believes in it and then continues. So I really recommend Fast, Feast, Repeat. I think has some really good information on even if you overeat, there is still benefit to fasting. So I don't know if I'm in a caloric deficit. I really don't. But I've lost over 30 pounds. I went from being overweight to maintaining a healthy weight for over a year. And I just fast. That's all I do. I fast a lot, but I enjoy a lot of food too. See, Shelly, okay, so someone else said they're not ready to cut out processed foods. And that's why it's embarrassing to say it, because it's not like I say, oh, processed foods, I know they're amazing for me. It's just that I struggle with it. And if I go down the road of cutting them out, I'm going to lose the freedom I found in fasting. So I'm glad others understand. All right, David, I see you like peanut butter or peanut powder over peanut butter. If I had to choose, I'd pick peanut butter. I have peanut powder. If you have a suggestion with it, let me know. I don't know if you're asking or if you're telling me to pick that over it. I see other people are saying that they definitely understand like the obsession point. Found your channel Friday. My 51-year-old daughter and I, 72, decided to try fasting. I lasted 24 hours. She's on her last 10 hours of a 3-day. Oh my goodness, 3 days within the first week. That is amazing. Good for you. Make sure you're being safe. I didn't do 3 days until a couple weeks ago when I've been doing this for almost 2 years. But and this is absolutely crazy to me, I actually look forward to doing it again. And I'm thinking of doing it right before my birthday and then like breaking my fast on my birthday. But we'll see. I'm not exactly sure. Okay, so Chris is saying you have to totally abstain and not moderate. Yeah, see, one cashew leads to the whole can. That's how I used to be, like, say with a can of Pringles. If I had a can of Pringles, say on a road trip, I'd eat the whole dang thing, or if others were with me, we'd share it, but it had to be gone or I'd be eating it. So I understand that. Excuse me, but for some reason, and I think that's one thing that's good about fasting is even if I ate the entire can of cashews, at some point I'm going to close my window and I will not open my window once it's closed. I am very good at that. Time is a very solid stop for me. So if I'm eating too much, I just stop my eating window and then I move on. And that's the only way I can survive. After consistently fasting 7 months, I struggle with sugar and not overindulging. I guess my first question would be, do you try to diet in your eating window? And I will say I eat probably more sugar than I should. I know I do. But it's kind of one of those things that I do it and I keep my window shorter and I don't bake or make things all the time. So I understand sugar is a bad friend to have sometimes. Other videos, but what would you do if you had a lunch date with friends and it was outside your eating window? Okay, so Sabria, I hope I'm saying that right. It's very confusing that it's in between Sabrina. I had to do a double take. But here's how I would do. She asked if I had a lunch date with friends and it was outside my eating window, I would do some mental math. I call it my fasting math. And I would decide if I want to eat during that window, then I would make sure I close my window the day before early enough to get my fasting hours in. And then I would have that meal with my friends. And then I would shift my eating window from dinner to lunch. So sometimes I do meet my husband on lunch. And if I want to meet him at noon, I know I have to close my eating window by 6 the night before to get my 18 hours in. So I just do my fasting math, and this is a very easy way to do it. I've done this way too. If I haven't had the opportunity to plan for it, I just have a shorter fast one time. It's not going to kill you. Your body isn't going to say, oh, screw fasting. We broke it once. We're never going to do this again. No, you can have a 14-hour fast instead of your normal, whatever your normal is. Eat lunch with your friends. You can decide if you're going to close your window or also have dinner that night if you're used to having dinner, and then move on. One-offs every once in a while are not going to kill you. It adds to the variety. And then once you have the ability to, or once you see the fasting flexibility in motion, you're really going to, in my opinion, fall in love with the lifestyle, because once you see like, oh, I can still do the things that are important to me, sweet, you're going to stick with it much more. Because I'll tell you, I never once was like sweet with Weight Watchers. I'd be like, great, we're going out to lunch. How am I going to figure out these points? Also, you could also just go and get like a black coffee if you didn't want to eat. So it kind of depends on what you want. The longer I fast, the less weird I feel about just having coffee if other people are eating, because if I don't want to eat, it's not worth me breaking my fast. And I have no problem being like, oh, I'm loving my coffee. Just point out like, hey, I'm enjoying the company and the coffee. Don't worry about me. And if they don't want to move on, I guess that's their problem. Okay, so I see, David, you said you're going to count calories, and I don't think that's a bad thing. It's just not something, for me, it would make me feel like a diet, and I would never stick with that long term. But if it works for you, kudos. Good for you. Do I get lightheaded and dizzy when I fast? No, and if I did, I would probably eat. No, I just really don't. At the beginning, so when I first started fasting, there's definitely an adjustment. So I'm talking from someone that's been fasting for almost 2 years. At the beginning, I definitely felt very tired, sluggish, and my body had adjusting. I felt like crap. I don't remember if I exactly felt dizzy, but if you do, I would close your window, eat, try again the next day. If you need to slowly like increase your windows to get to longer fast because you get that dizzy feeling, I would definitely do that. Hi, Victoria. Hello, Pink Motivation. I hope you do plan around the lunch day. And I honestly feel like once you see how flexible it is, it's really going to solidify the love of fasting. Oh my gosh, it's 2:00 already. Holy crap. Someone asked, this is going to be the last question. Oh, see, Frosties to me, not worth eating in the window. I would have a coffee too. Also, I see there was one question. Do I eat 2:30 to 6:30 every day? No, my eating window every day changes. I don't do the same thing. I just make sure I fast at least 18 hours. And then sometimes my eating window is 20 minutes. Sometimes it's 6 hours. Sometimes it's an up day. The only constant is that I make sure I fast 18 hours every day. Right now during 75 hard, I did 19 hours just to increase the intensity of it. But, oh, thank you. You said my face is glowing. It's hot, so I'm sweaty right now. But 2, I use Glow Screen from Supergoop. It's a daily tinted moisturizer with SPF. So that's all I wear every day, aside from like eye makeup and blush. But it's Glow Screen from Supergoop. I absolutely love it. And I also have to tell you guys really quick, I just want to say thank you to anyone that signed up for being on my podcast. If you want to be on a podcast, I'm going to get it rolling this summer. I'm not there, but I am gathering a list. You can email me. I will put it in the description. It's not there, so give me a few minutes to add my email in a second. Also, I just want to say that as my channel is growing, this is my job, and I really appreciate, I've had a lot of people just be very understanding when sponsors come into my videos, and I try not to be extremely salesy or annoying with it, but I do appreciate that you guys are understanding and not like when I have a sponsor on the podcast, or excuse me, the videos, because I get so many people wanting me to sell supplements or things that I just would never do. And I push most of it away, but some things that I do go for sponsorships, it helps me support the channel. And I really appreciate you guys not even buying, like that doesn't even matter, but like not hating me for having sponsored content. Thank you so much. Okay, will you continue to lose weight? If I say I have not been losing weight for over a year without doing keto or something extreme, I've just been maintaining, and I've never been able to maintain in my entire life without dieting. I was either gaining or losing weight. And if I was losing, it was calorie. Oh, I don't mean my entire life. I mean, since I had kids, I was thin growing up. So, thank you, Leanne. Give the video a thumbs up. Okay, I keep talking. Can I give advice strategy for weight loss, even though I know it's not healthy? I have a wedding to attend in a month, and I'm beginning right now. I would just have the longer fasts. I do 1 meal a day. That's what I would do. That would be my suggestion. I feel like you can lose weight doing that. Constipation. Yes, I did, but I started taking I drink water. Water is very important for me to not be constipated. And then I started taking magnesium, 400 milligrams a day. I'm not a physician, so I don't know if that works for you, but it's over the counter, and that helped me to not have constipation issues. The one over the counter probably is not like the highest grade that you could get, but that's what I did. Okay. Okay, guys, I have to go. It's past 2, but thank you so much. If you want to be on my podcast, information will be in the description. I do absolutely love being a part of this community, and thank you so much, everyone, for joining. I will see you guys next Wednesday and new video Saturday. Bye, guys. Ciao, Don, ciao.